Ladies and gentlemen, intelligence is not measured by how much you know, but by how you apply what you know. You see, wisdom is not in the accumulation of information. It is in the discipline of discretion. A fool talks everything he knows, but the wise man understands the power of silence. The greatest danger to your destiny is not what your enemies know, but what you reveal carelessly. So I ask you today, what are you giving away with your mouth that could destroy your future? Every man and woman carries something sacred inside of them, and that sacred thing is vision. But hear me carefully. Not every vision is meant to be spoken, and not every dream is meant to be shared. The tragedy of our generation is not that we don't dream, but that we abort our dreams by putting them in the wrong hands. What kills destiny faster than anything else? It is exposure before its time. Joseph had a dream, you know the story, but the danger was not the dream. The danger was the disclosure. He told it too soon, and he told it to the wrong audience. And the moment he opened his mouth, jealousy was born, hatred was fueled, and betrayal was set in motion. That's the power of premature disclosure. When you speak what is still in seed form, you give the enemy the blueprint of your future. And I came to tell you, there are enemies who cannot stop what God has planted in you. But they can delay it, they can frustrate it, they can attack it if you open your mouth before the appointed season. There's a reason farmers don't dig up seeds after they plant them. Because when you expose a seed too early, you kill it. Likewise, your dream is a seed. It needs the soil of silence, the water of discipline, and the sunlight of time. Stop digging it up to show people how much progress it's making. Growth doesn't need applause. It needs protection. Do you know why so many in our community struggle to rise together? Because we celebrate too loud and too soon. We announce the job before the contract is signed. We announce the vision before the foundation is laid. We shout the plan before the resources are ready. And then we wonder why doors close, why opportunities vanish, why people we thought would cheer us on suddenly turn against us. The problem is not always the enemy out there. The problem is sometimes our own tongue. The scripture says life and death are in the power of the tongue. But have you ever considered that your own words could be the executioner of your destiny? When you talk too much, you empower the wrong people with knowledge of your future. And when the wrong people know your future, they begin to build weapons against it. Some of you, under the sound of my voice, need to learn the holy discipline of silence. Not everything needs to be posted. Not everything needs to be tweeted. Not everything needs to be shared at the dinner table. Sometimes wisdom is the ability to look excited and yet say nothing. Look at Jesus. When his mother asked him to perform a miracle at the wedding in Cana, he said, "My time has not yet come." That was divine timing. He knew the danger of moving ahead of God's calendar. He waited for the right moment, the right season, the right environment, and when his time came, no devil in hell could stop him. Likewise, your dream has an appointed time. Don't kill it by rushing it into the light before its season. And hear me clearly, this is not just about protecting yourself. It is about protecting your community, because when you fail, you don't fall alone. When your vision is aborted, your children pay the price. When your dream is sabotaged, your community suffers the lack of what you were supposed to build. You are not carrying that vision for yourself. You are carrying it for generations yet unborn. This is why you cannot afford to be careless with disclosure. What you reveal too soon is not just a loss for you, it is a loss for us all. So I say it again, guard your vision, nurture it in silence. Let your results make the announcement. Let your fruits do the talking. Because when the dream matures, it will speak for itself, and no enemy, no critic, no hater, no betrayer will be able to silence it. Protect the seed now so that the harvest tomorrow can feed nations. For what you conceal today will reveal you tomorrow. There is a hidden wisdom in not advertising everything you have. You see, wealth is not evil. Prosperity is not a sin. In fact, the scripture says it is God who gives the power to get wealth. But intelligence teaches us that wealth was never designed to be a banner of pride. It was designed to be a tool for responsibility. The moment you parade what you have, you invite two uninvited guests into your life: envy and manipulation. Envy destroys relationships, and manipulation drains your resources. Both are deadly when allowed into the circle of your destiny. Some of you have experienced this already. You bought a new car, and suddenly friends who never called you before now show up at your door, not to celebrate you, but to use you. You wear something new, and people you trusted begin to whisper behind your back. Why? Because people don't always attack your weakness. They attack your abundance. They are not offended by your lack. They are offended by your possession. This is why intelligent people do not broadcast everything they own. They understand that exposure invites exploitation. Look at Hezekiah in the scriptures. When the Babylonian envoys came to his palace, he showed them everything: the gold, the silver, the treasures. He showed them all his wealth. And the prophet Isaiah came to him and said, "You have made a mistake, for the very people you showed today will one day come to take everything you revealed." And history confirmed that word. Hezekiah's mistake was not in having wealth, but in displaying it to those who had no covenant with him. Hear me, it is not wrong to be blessed, but it is dangerous to advertise blessing to those who have no loyalty to your God. If the intelligent man understands this, true wealth is not what you can flaunt, it is what you can manage. It is not in the cars you park outside, it is in the investments you build that cannot be stolen. It is not in the jewelry on your body, it is in the legacy you deposit in your children's future. Show your children discipline, not diamonds. Show your community opportunity, not just your clothing. Because if your wealth cannot lift others, it is nothing but vanity dressed up in gold. And I must speak to our communities right now. Too many of us are caught in the trap of false display. We borrow to impress people who don't care. We live above our means to prove a point that nobody will remember tomorrow. We spend on the outside what we should be investing on the inside. And then we wonder why our businesses collapse, why our families remain in debt, why our children inherit struggle instead of stability. Beloved, this is not just poor financial management, this is a cultural sickness. And the cure is wisdom. Wisdom teaches you to hide your treasure, multiply it in silence, and let the results shout louder than your lifestyle. Think about it. The ocean is full of treasures, but it conceals them in its depth. The earth is rich with minerals, but it hides them beneath the soil. God Himself created the universe to conceal wealth, because exposure is not protection. If creation itself conceals its riches, what makes you think it is wise to expose yours? The intelligent man learns from the wisdom of creation. Hide what must be hidden until the right time to reveal it comes. For if you reveal it too soon, you may not have it when you need it most. And let me tell you the truth. Wealth is not measured by what you spend. It is measured by what you sustain. Anybody can show off for a season, but intelligent people build systems that last for generations. Don't buy just to shine, build to endure. Don't impress today at the cost of tomorrow. A wise man thinks generationally. He leaves an inheritance to his children's children, not a trail of debt and unpaid bills. So guard your resources. Manage them with intelligence. Use them to build and not just to boast. Because what you hide in wisdom today will rise in strength tomorrow. Remember, it is not what people see that sustains you. It is what you manage in secret that secures your future. Conceal your treasure, multiply it in silence, and when the time is right, let the fruit of your stewardship speak louder than the noise of your critics. One of the greatest mistakes intelligent people avoid is the careless disclosure of weakness. Let me tell you, weakness is not sin. Weakness is not shame. Weakness is the reminder that you are human and in need of God's strength. But the danger comes when you put that weakness in the wrong hands. Because when the wrong person holds the key to your vulnerability, they will not heal you with it, they will use it against you. Some of the deepest betrayals in history were not because of strength, but because of secrets shared in confidence with the wrong company. Think of Samson. His downfall did not come from the Philistines directly. His downfall came because he disclosed to Delilah what he should have kept between himself and his God. The haircut was not the betrayal. The conversation was. Some of you under the sound of my voice today, you are not broken because the enemy was stronger. You are broken because you gave the enemy your weakness on a silver platter. What you whispered in moments of trust became the weapon that pierced your soul. That's why wisdom says, know the difference between a confidant and a spy, between a healer and a harmer. Not everyone who listens loves you. Some listen only to load bullets against you later. Weakness must be managed. If you are intelligent, you don't deny it, you don't flaunt it, but you take it to the right place. You take it to God in prayer. You take it to mentors who can strengthen you. You take it to safe counsel, but you never put it in the street for the crowd to trample, because the crowd doesn't heal weakness. The crowd magnifies it. One rumor on the lips of the wrong person can undo 10 years of progress. And in this age of social media, weakness exposed publicly spreads faster than fire in dry grass. Once it burns, you cannot gather the ashes back again. Let me speak to families. Let me speak to communities. Too many of us destroy each other because we weaponize weakness. We take what someone confessed in private and we turn it into gossip. We take a brother's struggle, a sister's pain, and we use it to elevate ourselves. This is not intelligence, this is immaturity. Intelligent people build safe spaces where weakness can be healed, not mocked. A strong community is not one where no one falls. It is one where people can fall and still be restored. A strong family is not one without weakness. It is one where weakness is handled with dignity, not disgrace. And here is the truth. God is not ashamed of your weakness. In fact, He says, my strength is made perfect in weakness, but He expects you to handle that weakness with discipline. Stop handing your scars to people who have never shown you their wounds. Stop sharing your struggles with people who celebrate your failure more than your growth. If you want to survive, be selective. Be wise. Intelligence is not pretending you have no weakness. It is protecting it until it can be turned into strength. Let me leave you with this. Your weakness does not disqualify you, but your carelessness with it can. Protect it, manage it, bring it to God, and surround yourself with people who will guard it, not exploit it. Because if you place it in the wrong hands, it won't just destroy you, it will wound the generations that depend on you. Remember this: what you conceal with wisdom, God will cover with grace. But what you expose carelessly, men will use to enslave you. Guard your weakness, and it will one day become the testimony of your strength. There is a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is what you know, but wisdom is knowing when and how to release it. The tragedy I see too often is that people feel compelled to prove how much they know. They want to sound smart. They want to impress. They want to be heard. But intelligence is not about broadcasting everything in your head. It's about measuring your words like currency and spending them with discernment. Even Scripture says, a fool is considered wise when he keeps silent. That means sometimes silence is not ignorance, it is strategy. Have you ever noticed that the most dangerous people in the room are usually the quietest ones? They are listening, absorbing, discerning. They don't need to prove what they know because their results will speak. Too many of us, however, talk ourselves out of influence because we release wisdom where it is not valued. When pearls are thrown before swine, they get trampled. Your knowledge is a pearl. Don't waste it on ears that are deaf to growth. Think of Daniel in Babylon. The man carried insight that could interpret dreams, unlock mysteries, and shift empires. But notice he didn't parade his knowledge. He spoke only when the king summoned him. And because he measured his words, every time he spoke, nations listened. The problem with our generation is we speak when nobody asks, and we teach when nobody is ready to learn. And then we get frustrated when our wisdom is ignored. The issue is not your intelligence, it is your timing. And I must say this to our community. We are destroying ourselves by confusing platforms with authority. Just because you have a social media account doesn't mean you must share every thought. Some knowledge needs to be incubated until it matures into strategy. A half-baked idea spoken too soon can be stolen, misused, or dismissed. Guard your thoughts. Some things must be written in journals, not shouted from rooftops. Intelligent people know how to conceal brilliance until it's ready to shift the environment they are in. Never forget, the more you talk, the more you reveal what others can use against you. Sometimes silence is not weakness, it is power under control. Sometimes the wisest move is to walk away from arguments and let time vindicate you. Let your results be your vocabulary. Let your success be your grammar. Because at the end of the day, knowledge shouted carelessly can become noise, but knowledge spoken with precision can change a generation. So hear me, do not reveal everything you know. Teach in seasons, speak in measure. Release wisdom like a surgeon with a scalpel, not a child with a sword. Because what you hold in your mind is sacred, and what you release with your mouth can either build your influence or bury it. Guard your knowledge, conceal it in wisdom. And when the time is right, let your words carry the weight of nations. One of the most dangerous mistakes an individual can make is to hand over the intimate details of their family affairs to the public. A wise man builds a house, but a foolish man tears it down with his own mouth. Some of you, under the sound of my voice today, are struggling, not because of what the enemy has done, but because you have opened the doors of your household to people who had no business entering. Not every disagreement needs an audience. Not every conflict needs a commentator. What happens in the sacred space of your home should be handled with honor, not handed out as entertainment. Do you know why families collapse in our generation? Because privacy has been sacrificed on the altar of exposure. We run to neighbors, we run to social media, we run to gossip circles, telling them every wound, every fight, every mistake. And what happens? Instead of healing, we multiply pain. Instead of unity, we multiply division. And then we wonder why respect disappears and why children grow up confused. The problem is that the dignity of the home was given away by the ones who were supposed to guard it. Intelligent people understand that family is sacred. It is not perfect, but it is holy. When there is struggle, you fix it in the house, not in the street. When there is weakness, you cover it with prayer, not with slander. When there is disagreement, you solve it with wisdom, not with an audience. The enemy doesn't need to invade your home when you've already published your battles for him. He only needs to sit back and watch as your own words dismantle your foundation. I must speak this with urgency to our community. We cannot rise as a people if our families remain fractured. A nation is only as strong as its households. When families are dishonored, children inherit confusion instead of clarity, bitterness instead of blessing. You don't strengthen a community by exposing its wounds. You strengthen it by binding them with care and dealing with them in safe places. You don't elevate a generation by broadcasting brokenness. You elevate it by covering one another with love and confronting issues with maturity. Even Jesus was protective of the household. When he healed the little girl, he sent the crowd away and took only her parents inside. He knew that miracles cannot survive in an atmosphere of noise. Likewise, the miracle of family cannot survive when everything is shouted to outsiders. The intelligent know that peace is preserved not by public opinion, but by private protection. So hear me, protect your household. Guard your relationships. Shield the dignity of your children. Cover the flaws of your spouse. Don't give the world what only God and trusted counsel should handle, because once honor is stripped from the home, the foundation begins to crumble. But when you protect it, you build something that can withstand storms, something that can last generations. Guard your family as you would guard your life, for the home you honor today will be the strength that carries your name tomorrow. So we have walked this journey together. We have seen that intelligence is not just about information, it is about discretion. A truly wise man or woman guards what they reveal. They guard their vision because vision unprotected can be sabotaged. They guard their resources because wealth flaunted can be stolen. They guard their weaknesses because vulnerability in the wrong hands becomes a weapon. They guard their knowledge because words spoken out of season lose their power. And they guard their families because a home exposed to gossip cannot stand strong. These are not suggestions. These are principles that shape destinies. What you guard today will guard you tomorrow. What you protect in silence will manifest in strength when the time is right. So I challenge you, leave this place determined not to be careless with what God has entrusted to you. Let your results speak louder than your announcements. Let your fruits testify more than your words. Let your discipline become your protection, because the future belongs to those who know what to reveal and what to conceal. The future belongs to the intelligent. The future belongs to you. Guard your seed, guard your treasure, guard your scars, guard your wisdom, guard your home, and watch how your life rises above every scheme, every enemy, every critic. For no man can steal what he cannot see, and no enemy can destroy what has been hidden in wisdom. Protect it, and the world will one day thank you for what you preserve in silence. Good luck on your journey, and may wisdom guide every step you take. Thank you, and God bless you.